Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucci, joined as always by a joke about Blizzard, the boy.
Hey.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we get down to that which we are talking about today, you go to the description, click all the links you find there, do all the things you can do there. That is to say, buy up all my books, buy up all that sweet Super Blizzard Shining Wasato music, because he gave us our theme music, and that's pretty nice of him. And follow us on Twitter. Sometimes we tweet stuff.
More often him than me. Usually I don't tweet stuff.
Boy is feeling a little under the weather.
Still, from last week, it's
He,
the same situation.
He ate an entire chicken live, and it just scratched and pecked the whole way down.
You know, it was delicious, though.
Yeah, it was a sight to see. Sight to see. And your poops have been quite soft with all the downy feathers, so that's nice too.
I haven't told you about that. How do you know?
Today, talking about Blizzcon, which might seem kind of weird because you and I haven't played Warcraft in a long time.
It's been over a year, hasn't it?
Not quite.
No, not quite.
Because we were, last year around this time, we were talking about why making a return to WoW is a good thing. And I still feel it was a good thing at the time.
Yeah, no, it was dead.
I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yep.
So let's, we're obviously not the best news site, but this is our take on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and get out of the way the stuff that we don't really give a shit about. Just to make sure we talk about it at least.
Go right ahead.
First things first, there's StarCraft. I don't give a shit about StarCraft, but I've heard what's going on there is expansive.
And for a guy who played a lot of RTS as a kid, I actually kind of actively dislike StarCraft, so I didn't even look at it. I don't know shit because I don't care.
If you wanted StarCraft news, why are you here? We're not even that popular. How did you get here? How did you get here for your StarCraft news? Please tell us in the comments. Heroes of the Storm, there's like some really interesting shit going on there.
Yeah.
But like,
I already play LoL.
Well, I mean, that's basically the long and short of it. I went through, and I wanted to do a video about this. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it, but I played a lot of MOBAs over the last year. That sounds about right.
I have not played as many.
And maybe it's just because I started with League or like got really into League, whatever. But it's hard to adapt to the way other MOBAs do shit.
Heroes of the Storm, from what I understand, is probably like it's got a different feel. Everything I've read about it, I haven't actually played it because what I've read about it says I wouldn't like it. It is the no, I wouldn't say casual, but it is the less labor-intensive version of a MOBA. The scaling is all very fixed. Items and such are all very fixed. It's more about teamwork than anything. It's probably the most teamwork-oriented of the MOBAs, again, from what I understand. And given people on the internet, that's not my jam.
Well, and having played it a little bit, I don't want to pretend like maybe a couple of hours worth, maybe 3 or 4 matches. I got in the beta for that shit. Woo woo. It's fine, but like, there's a lot of shit that's different just for the sake of being different. And that's probably smart, but when you're coming in late to the MOBA game, maybe you shouldn't do that.
And then again, maybe you should. Maybe it helps differentiate you and give you
I think honestly the reason that Heroes of the Storm is and will do as good as it does is because it's a Blizzard property with Blizzard characters.
You can fight Diablo with I don't know, some StarCraft character.
Well, I believe the example they gave was that you can ride Diablo into combat on a unicorn, and then he can be killed by a Murloc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, this is great for somebody who loves Blizzard shit. And there are a lot of really interesting character concepts and play styles in the game, but it just doesn't trip my trigger. I love a lot of their game design logic, a lot of the way they're taking things. Theory, I guess, is the word I wanted to use there. But I don't care about its application.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty much my take on it. There is stuff happening with Heroes of the Storm, and it looks very interesting.
Well, yeah, there's like a champ that's controlled by 2 people. And the way, like, everybody at BlizzCon got the champ, and everyone who was there, and then everybody who was watching at home, when the champ is ready, they'll get it for free. And then the only way you can get the champ is by playing a couple of games with somebody who has the champ.
That's actually really
it spreads virally. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. And they have, like, solo missions you can do to, like, get used to the characters. It's all really smart stuff, but I don't care. And, like, the controls especially were just enough different that I wasn't any good at the game. And it was one of those things where, and perhaps this is done intentionally, I could definitely see why it would be. Perhaps it's one of those things where you know, if I played Heroes of the Storm for long enough, I'd be shitty at League. You know?
Just because your muscle memory would be different.
It would be different. It would be off in that way.
It's like, in the same way if you play, like, a BioWare game for long enough, and then you switch to, say, a Bethesda game, which can be very similar, you fuck up. You have to get back used to the Bethesda game controls, because they're similar games that control just differently enough that it messes with you. But I mean, that could have been done intentionally. I don't imagine it was, because that seems like a real deep thing to do.
You never know, man. Fucking advertisement and that kind of proprietary shit runs pretty fucking deep. Hearthstone is launching another expansion. I gave up on Hearthstone. I like it, but I can't keep up with it. Because you kind of have to play a lot of Hearthstone to get the newest cards. And you have to have the newest cards to be able to compete. Yeah, and it's just not... Or you have to have a bunch of money, I mean... Oh yeah, that's completely an option. I'm not mad about it or anything, and I'm glad I paid money for a couple of decks, because I think it's a good game. And not like Blizzard's a small company or anything, but I'm glad I could throw support there. Yeah, because I like Blizzard just fine. And I like Hearthstone just fine. I can't continue to play it. If I had the time in my life, I would be playing WoW to this day. It's not terribly expensive. No, it's not even the time. You need a new rig. I need a new rig, and I need the time. Sure. When I was playing WoW, that's what I did. That's true. You came home and played WoW. We spent weekends playing WoW, so... And I have many other more varied interests now, and I'd like to engage in them, and I have a day job. Yeah. So, to do that, I can't play WoW. And we will talk about WoW here soon, very soon. Overwatch. Overwatch. Actually, I'm very interested in Overwatch. That I am literally just waiting on a new rig to play. Well, you'll get it. You can get it on the Xbox. I don't want it on the Xbox. Okay. I don't know why. It's a shooter. Oh, you're kind of PC master race about this. About specifically shooters, mouse and keyboard master race. It's just a better control scheme. It just is. I played Halo on the console because I never saw Halo as like a really serious shooter. It was a fun party game sort of thing. Yeah, I get you. But Overwatch is competitive against other people. If I'm going to play that, I want to have the control scheme where I can be the most effective, and that's mouse and keyboard. I can't argue with that, I guess. It's not my personal preference, but whatever. Yeah, but I'm just waiting on a new rig because my current rig couldn't run it. I'm not saying I'm never gonna play it. Like, I mean, now that I know you have to buy it, which is fine. I mean, it is a game after all. Yeah, it's not. I didn't even catch they released their pricing models. It just, that was letting you buy the game and get all the characters. Oh no, our heater's on. Well, I'm gonna go turn that off, you Phil, for a second. All right. Hey guys, how's it going? I forget what the price point is, but you do buy the game as a bundle. You get all of the initial characters. They've got a couple of optional, like, bonus packs you can get if you spend more money. Like any other fucking game launch. It's just that this type of game is traditionally free to play. And you buy, and they make money via skins and stuff. I mean, I don't mind the buy upfront model for this because, again, I've listened to and absorbed a lot of feedback out of it because this seems like an interesting game, and it more than anything else interested me in a non-league style, small unit tactics team battle arena thing because a bunch of the stuff you can do and it sounds really cool. You can change characters mid-match, which Nosgoth did. And Team Fortress did. Yeah. That's kind of the new MOBA. MOBAs were the big thing for a while, and now team deathmatch shooters is the big thing.
Yep, and I like those. It has a lot of really interesting mechanics, from what I understand. A lot of really interesting strategy, which I would like to play. My current rig can't, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to play the game.
Well, and it's like we said in our what amounted to BlizzCon roundup last year. This looks like a fine game, but for me personally, it's going to live or die by the controls.
Yep, and I have to play it to get that.
And if it's not free to play, then I'm probably not going to invest my money into it to check.
I will see if there's a situation where I can play it for cheap or free.
Yeah, if I can go to GameStop, pick up my copy of Overwatch, and be like, yes, I would like to try this out. I play it, and it's like, oh, this is ass.
This control, like I mentioned when the game first came out, it looked really interesting, but I was concerned. I'm told it doesn't, which is what makes me interested. But if it fucking controls like Team Fortress 2, I'm out.
Yeah, people think Team Fortress 2 controls good, so I can't trust them.
Yeah, I'm told it doesn't control like Team Fortress 2, and I believe that provisionally.
I'm probably just going to stick with Nosgoth. As little as I play it, I do love it. The last time I played it, the matchmaking was so much better. I actually won a couple of matches. And I hadn't played in fucking months. So I was clearly up against people who were my skill level. Finding a match didn't take for fucking ever. I'm
glad that game's not dead.
Oh god, me too. I
felt like that game would die. I
was so sure it would. And I'm not ruling it out yet, because I don't think it's officially out of beta yet, but it's really fun, really good. If you really like Overwatch and what it has to offer, and you're looking for something new to play that isn't Team Fortress or whatever the hell else is out there, give Nosgoth a shot. It's free on Steam.
But if there's a situation where I can get a hold of a copy of Overwatch at not full price, or I can play it at not full price, I will do so to see if it's something that I want to invest my money in. But I'm not going to waste money on it if it ends up controlling like fucking Team Fortress.
Yeah.
I hate Team Fortress's controls.
Their mapping is fine, but the way the game controls and the fact that your characters don't fucking feel powerful ever.
Now that's the thing. Again, based on feedback that I have gotten, your characters feeling powerful is actually something that is really, really good in Overwatch. Characters feel very powerful. They feel very good at what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm told it controls like Quake.
I like Quake.
And that means if it controls like Quake, that I'm interested in. Because I was good at those games.
I didn't care for Quake as much as I liked Unreal, but in terms of controls, but I like Quake just fine.
But yeah, I'm told it controls like Quake, and if it does, you have my money. Once I have a computer that can play you regularly, I will buy your game. In all likelihood, because that sounds really fun. That sounds really fucking fun.
I like the character designs. I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't intrigue me. They've got a lot of fucking diversity there.
And they said that they're down to move with that IP. They've got short stories. They've got character stuff. They've got
tie-in skins. Yeah.
Oh no, they've got plots and stories and books and comics.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
None of that shit's in the game.
Yeah. No, I see. Oh, I see what you're doing there, Blizzard. But
it's a toy commercial. I understand.
But it's a damn good one. So yeah, that's our little input on Overwatch. What other Blizzard? I don't think they're doing anything with Diablo.
And there's some stuff with some leading up to a new expansion and all that. But I played Diablo 3, and this guy who played probably hundreds of hours of Diablo 2. Diablo 3 didn't impress. Sorry.
And I finally figured out last night when I was talking with you and David Gardner, our friend who does Game Master Problems.
Yep.
We've talked about him before on our role-playing podcast.
He's one of you, listener.
He is indeed a listener. Ultimo Dragon, he's the man with the beard next to you. We were talking about Diablo stuff, and I realized last night the reason I never really got into Diablo is because, I was on consoles. I didn't have a PC that was capable of running what you would call games. until I was a lot older. But I did play both Champions of Norath games, like, religiously. D&D released a couple of games
like that.
Yeah, that were similar, and I played the shit out of those. I played fucking Gauntlet on the N64, and...
Fucking Gauntlet, yeah.
Like, it's the same sort of principle. It's just fucking Marvel Heroes games.
Yeah. Those things are very much... They don't control very much like Diablo, but they are... But I like them in spirit. It's the same sort of feel for me. But then again, that's probably down to... I usually play Diablo multiplayer with other people, and I've only ever played the Marvel Heroes games multiplayer with other people.
Right.
So it's that same sort of fun community spirit thing.
Same, ironically. So I get to Diablo and I'm playing by myself and it's like, this is lame. I'm lonely. even the Marvel Heroes, like the Marvel Heroes game, the one that's current, could hold my attention only for about 20 levels. On the energy of just being Black Panther alone, so... Yeah,
I got to be Captain America for like 20 levels in that game, and that was pretty sweet. But then I looked into playing the game longer, because it's free to play, I could have. I didn't want other characters, I already have Captain America. The fuck else am I going to play? But, I looked into it, and, the end game for Captain America seemed incredibly unfun and shitty, so I stopped.
They relaunched it this year.
I hear it's much better now.
Yeah, and I keep meaning to look into it because, like, one of the biggest things they changed was that character prices are reduced. Like, I was grinding. I want a fucking Squirrel Girl. That's all. I just want a fucking Squirrel Girl. And I didn't care that she was voiced by Tara Strong, and that's just kind of redundant.
You mean incredibly good casting?
I think it's easy casting.
Yes.
Unnecessarily.
Easy as it's the best choice.
I don't know that that's the case either. Like,
I think we have to disagree on this one, my man.
I suppose. And that's a deeper conversation for another podcast, really. But I feel like they could have hired somebody who isn't, like, A-list voiceover. You know, that would have befit the character of Squirrel Girl better than Tara fucking Strong. Then non-voice acting interested people, if they know a voice actor's name, will probably know Tara Strong.
Non-voice acting interested people don't know voice actors' names.
But if there's one they've heard of and seen a lot because it's in the credits of shit they watch, it's fucking Tara Strong.
She's in everything.
She's everywhere. And that's fine. She's a good voice actress. I digress. So that's all the Blizzard properties except for the one we're going to be talking the most about, and that is Warcraft.
Various Warcraftumums.
We watched the trailers for both Warcraft and the
new expansion.
Let's tackle the movie trailer first, because again, I think that'll be more brief than what we have to say about Legion.
Okay. It sure is a movie film for theaters. It looks passable. It looks fine. The graphics look pretty good for what they are. They look a little cartoony, but it's fucking Warcraft.
Well,
I kind of like that they look a little cartoony.
Here's my issue. They look good. Don't get me wrong. But then they put them next to live-action actors, and it only serves to highlight how not real they look.
I kind of like that. I honestly do, because it serves to highlight, look, fucking, for a long time, Warcraft sprites were marshmallows.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to go see the movie because the graphics aren't good enough, but it has the potential to affect my suspension of disbelief. I was planning on seeing this movie when they advertised it.
Yeah, I mean, when they said, we're making a Warcraft movie. Okay, sure.
Yeah, you got my $10.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, I like Warcraft. But,
the storyline appears, I think they're doing like an alternate universe thing. I don't think they're following the storyline exactly.
Well, I'm sure they're going to update it.
But I don't fucking remember the details of the Warcraft storyline, so they might be. I might have forgotten.
It seemed pretty close. I think they're expanding it is probably a better way to put it.
Yeah, they're expanding it like The Hobbit got expanded.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But it looks good. I'm no more or less interested in this movie than I was before a trailer existed.
Yeah, same. There was a really cool scene where an orc threw a horse.
Oh yeah, that was tight. It's fucking horse throwing A+.
Yeah. More horse throwing. More of this, less of everything else.
I think another problem with the movie is, and we knew this because it's a Warcraft movie, not a World of Warcraft movie or a Warcraft 3 movie. It's about humans and orcs. Are those either of your favorite races in Warcraft?
They're not trolls, no.
No, trolls, undead, fucking cow people. Fucking, I'll take goblins, pandas, and worgen, okay? Fucking...
Shit, I will take night elves and Draenei. Draenei are cool.
Yeah, Draenei are fucking awesome.
Like, orcs and humans are the most boring Warcraft races. Full stop.
No, I mean, like, I guess, like, they could go further into annoying and made it like blood elves and gnomes.
Or, like, goblins and gnomes. Just
I think
push that lever all the way and break that shit off.
Delightfully offensive. I think there would have been too much. Yeah, this is good.
I don't know if the goblins play on a big screen in multi-theaters around the world because, oh boy, on the big screen. Look, I love goblins. Don't get me wrong. There are some people out there who might be a little bit mad about them.
Yeah, I'm sure those people exist now.
Yeah, but they're not as loud as they would be for a multinational theater release.
Whatever, I don't care about them. So, yeah, anyway, it's not like... I
kind of would like to see a goblins versus gnomes thing in a movie.
Yeah.
Because I want to see them just push that lever all the way and break that shit off. Because I want to see what they can do when they're going full asshole about it.
So, Legion is probably the thing you and I are most interested in. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to make me resub to WoW.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Maybe I would for a month if I find myself especially bored.
And they offer it to us for cheap, like they did the previous couple expansions.
I'm not worried about getting the expansion.
I'd want to just because if I'm gonna play, I like having the option of playing the whole game. But
I'm not gonna get to that point in
but to be honest, well, I mean, you could, but you're not going to.
No, I'm not going to. I really didn't like Warlords of Draenor. I didn't get a chance to really get into it, but like that game didn't want me to get into it.
They did a thing in this expansion, which they did in the previous expansion, which is pretty much the quickest way to make me not interested. I don't even know if they ever undid it in Warlords of Draenor. As a player of WoW, I might be spoiled. I like my flying mounts. If I'm not allowed to use them, I'm less likely to play your game. In Legion, flying mounts are not going to be enabled at launch. They will probably get enabled in a later patch, but at launch you will not be able to use them. I get why you're doing that. We want you to explore the world we spend all this time making. Your Call of Duty, motherfuckers. You release an expansion every 2 years now.
It's every year now.
Yeah, you didn't spend that much time making it. Let me use my fucking flying mount. Trust me, I take in the scenery just fine from the back of a dragon.
Well, I mean, on one hand, I understand what they're saying. On one hand, I understand what you're saying. But I'm on a third camp where I don't really care. Because, I'm probably not going to use my flying mount in that it will be just fine to walk kind of situation. I mean, if I'm flying, it's going to be to avoid mobs. But really, if I'm on my mount, it shouldn't be that hard to avoid mobs, and I'll probably spot nodes easier.
One of the things, but Legion for me, I don't really give a shit about the story. You're fighting the Burning Legion again. It's okay, sure. That is Warcraft's.
This is our third Burning Legion expansion.
This is Warcraft's bread and butter. It's their oh shit, we don't have anything. Just order them a pizza. Fight the Burning Legion. And that's fine. Whatever. I ain't mad at it. I'm really not. My bad experiences having had to go through Hellfire Peninsula so much aside, I'm not mad. The difference here is, I don't care about the story, Legion isn't an expansion so much as it's like the biggest, how do you put it, the biggest QOL patch in history.
QOL being short for quality of life, for those who aren't into game terminology like that.
They're changing a bunch of stuff that is just a huge quality of life improvement for players of the game.
Well, and that's why I said I don't necessarily need the actual expansion. I don't need to go to the zones and fight the Legion. I don't need to be...
You don't care about that. You like the stuff that's coming in for free.
I don't need to be XX Dante 666 Slayer XX. Or whatever it is they call the new race, class.
Oh, they're not that bad.
Have you seen them?
Well, they're just called Demon Hunters, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen them.
They're like full of glowing green soul fire, and they are blinded for their sins, and they will fight the demons because they are the demons, John.
You know, you seem really butthurt about this, and I'm gonna take your explanation, and I'm gonna take it with an entire container of salt due to your butt fructionedness.
No, I mean, I'm like, the only reason I'm mad at all, and it's just a small portion, I am like, okay, full non-joking, non-playing it up for the podcast disclosure here. It seems like a fine class. It expands on what they took away from Hunter. It also stomps on a Warlock spec. This already exists. It's called the Demonology spec for Warlocks. You just made it better. And more demony. Now it is the Demonology spec for Warlocks with a bow. And you have a special jumpy attack flyy thingy as your character. And that's cool, but, like, you could have done so much fucking anything else with this. And I think, if I'm not incorrect, the class itself only has 2 specs.
Yeah. And they actually switch between them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. That's whatever. But, like, peeling back up to the joke layer, it looks try-hard as fuck. It is... alternate working title for the class was Edgelord.
I believe that. I do. I believe that entirely.
That's my only qualm with it. Functionally speaking, it looks fine. I know plenty of people who are excited to play it. And I will probably try it out eventually. What fucks do I give?
But for the players of the other classes, the classes that I care about, to be honest, they're letting you triple spec. They're letting you
quad spec if you're a druid.
Yeah, you can do one of each, or 4 different ret pally specs if you really want. But they can, if for most classes that have 3 specializations, you can do all 3. For a druid that has 4, you can do all 4. You have to get gear for all of them, obviously, but I don't care. That's really nice.
Yeah.
As a druid, as a guy who may have started while playing a mage, but whose favorite fucking class is druid, being able to play all of the druid specs, bellissimo. I love this. Good job.
I want to play the Warlock. I have a soft spot in my heart for the old Boomkin and Holy Paladins. I really, really do. But all of my favorite times playing WoW have been Warlock. I fucking love Warlock.
Warlock is fun.
That translates to, like, no other game. Because, like, every time I get into another MMO and they're like, it's just like Warlock. I'm like, it fucking isn't. It's like Warlock if it wasn't fun. I fucking digress.
No, that's not a digression.
No, I suppose this is just content. Back to more content, I guess. So, mining nodes, resource nodes are shareable now.
That's the biggest, that is... I can't express how happy I am about that as someone who has played WoW in the past. For all the people playing WoW now, you guys, anyone who starts WoW now forward, you have no room to bitch ever. Ever, because you were not there for the hard times.
They're overhauling the crafting system to be
better.
Better, yeah.
Just better.
I'm a little confused about what they're doing with glyphs. Confused and scared.
They're gone. Mostly.
Well, like, the major glyphs are going away, but you can have a bunch of minor glyphs.
You can have every minor glyph. They're going to add a bunch more minor glyphs, and you can have every minor glyph for every spell if you want it.
No, so then I don't feel so bad still being, like, having 3 of my guys have, Glyphomancer is their profession. Scribe? Was that what it's called?
Yeah, inscriptionist.
Inscriptionist. That was... Well, scribe would have been a better fucking way to say it. Blizzard, hire me.
Inscriptionists can still make, like, glyphs. They give you buffs for, like, a set period of time. Like
they do have some of those already.
Yeah, like those, only better. But, like, glyphs are basically... Major glyphs are just gone.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. It makes getting your character up to snuff.
Well, they said they're adding a bunch of talents. So I imagine... And a bunch of class-specific talents. So I imagine that's what that is.
Yeah, they're going to turn them into talents.
Yeah, it's just something that's similar to the old model.
Which, I like it because it centralizes your power of your character, requires you to have fewer characters to be functional, or, have fewer people you have to farm out work to and pay through the nose in the auction house for, and it makes getting your character up to snuff a little less cost prohibitive. Those are all good moves.
Yeah. They're also, and this seems like the biggest thing for a lot of people, completely redoing Transmog.
Yeah, oh god, that's really cool.
It's like WildStar now, except better.
Yeah. Any quest you've ever completed, you get the appearances of all of the items, all of the rewards for it.
Even if you didn't take them.
Yeah, even the ones you didn't pick, you get those too. You get the appearances for any item you've had, even if you've deleted it. You get the appearances for basically any item that's ever crossed your fucking inventory. You just have its appearance now. You don't have to save the item. You can delete it if it's in your bank or your void storage or whatever, and you can just have it now. I can go back and find my favorite outfit that my druid ever wore. The one, I know which one I'm talking about too. It looked really cool. And I only wore it for like 4 levels while leveling, and I like it. It looks simple and clean, and it's the best thing. And I can make all my shit look like that. Every time I get new gear, whatever looks like that now.
And instead of having to go all the way to the doodly bop and do all the things, you just fucking do it.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, like, this is all stuff that when they release an expansion, I give a fuck about. Which, given their pacing, I'm gonna say the next expansion, when we have Northrend 2, that's probably gonna be the one where I'm like, tell me more. I am interested.
We're going back to Northrend, eh? Well,
yeah, I want to see
we were in
what's
Northrend when I joined WoW. That trips my nostalgia triggers. How about we go back?
I also think there's a lot of really cool story stuff that I'd like to see happen.
Oh, yeah, Bolivar Dragon. I want to see what happens there.
And, like, most of my favorite dungeons in fucking WoW are Northrend dungeons.
They're Wrath dungeons.
Yeah, they're Wrath dungeons.
I hate the Cataclysm dungeons. They're boring.
They're whatever. I mean, they're not bad. But
no, they're not bad. They're just boring. And I came from Wrath dungeons, which were better.
I can't speak to Mists or...
Yeah, no, I played maybe 5 minutes of Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah. I liked Mist's quest line. Like, it seemed interesting, but I didn't have a character to go do Mists. I
had one character to go do Mists. 2, actually, but one's a healing druid, and past a certain level, before, when I couldn't respec easily into, the stuff that solos, you don't get to solo stuff anymore. Like, Dunmorix couldn't quest.
And because I couldn't hang out with him and help him out, because I had a too low-level character,
I would have just been grinding dungeons.
Yeah.
And I wanted to quest in a new zone, so I played my paladin, who's a protection paladin, and he can quest just fine. Slowly.
Yeah.
They're not gonna kill him. But holy shit, it's gonna take him 7 years to kill anything.
Well, it's like when I was playing Final Fantasy 14. I rolled a Lancer, eventually intending to become a Dragoon, and I'm DPS, so I kill things pretty fast, but I can kill, like, one group of mobs, and then I have to take a nap. Then I had somebody come by and help me out who was a tank, and it was like, this is the dream. You show up, and you just take all of their shit, and I kill all of their shit, and then we go fight another thing without both of us having to take a fucking nap.
Which I suppose is, good game design.
Yeah, it's just
the MM in your MMO.
Yeah, it just sucks because we ain't got ferns. I think probably once you do have a new rig, because it is on the itinerary,
but we got day jobs, and I'd rather buy Fallout 4 and stuff,
Right. Resubbing to WoW is probably going to be like one of those things that we're only going to be able to put off for like a month or two.
So, because I I mean,
you're like, well, you can play again, man.
I can see the shiny new graphics.
Come on, man, take my sweet, sweet drugs.
I don't want to go back.
Come back to the crack, man.
I don't want to go back, man. That game legit ate like a couple years of my free time.
It was fucking fun. I had a good time. I never look back and go, man, I shouldn't have spent that money on.
Well, me neither. I mean, it's not that I regret the decision. It's that I know what will happen if I go back.
Yeah, life is short. Do what you want with it, you know? Sometimes that's WoW.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's really about it for what came out of BlizzCon. Well, that and fucking Jamie Lee Curtis roosted us all again.
What?
She walked the BlizzCon floor dressed as an undead.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, male undead with the 2 straps over his face and the weird purple mad scientist hair. She had a mask on the whole time, walking the floor. Like she did at that other con as Vega. It's just good
Celebrities love doing that shit.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe went to a Comic-Con dressed as Spider-Man. Walter White, that is to say, no, his name is literally gone. Bryan Cranston. It was Walter White there for a second, or then I went, no, it's not Walter White. Malcolm's dad? Well, fuck you, brain!
Satan in that one made-for-TV movie.
But
this is a pretty good performance. Look it up.
Yeah, it was, actually. But, Bryan Cranston regularly goes dressed as stuff, usually Walter White masks. I love that. I love that it allows them, cosplaying allows them the opportunity to just chill and be people.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So, I don't know. There's nothing out of this BlizzCon that's got me, clamoring to go try Blizzard products, but,
good job, guys.
Yeah, good job. This seemed like a really solid con. You told us a lot of stuff about Legion that makes me go, oh, I see what you're doing with this expansion. It's like Cataclysm 1.5.
It's these. I see what you guys are doing. You're doing once-a-year expansions. So instead of making World of Warcraft 2, you're just slowly turning WoW into World of Warcraft 2. One expansion at a time. You're just gonna slowly roll into the next MMO. Mm-hmm. Just to keep them numbers rolling. Keep that money coming in. And you know what? From what I understand, it might be a good idea from a financial standpoint because. What was the joke I heard? You really do go back in time during Warlords of Draenor because when they released Warlords of Draenor, WoW went back to vanilla numbers of subscribers. So maybe going to the Burning Legion again will give you that nice Burning Crusade bump again.
Maybe. That's all I got.
Yeah, same.
I got nothing else.
That's all there is. There isn't any more. Do we know what we're doing next week?
Fuck no, when do we ever?
Very, very occasionally. But
is there a pay-per-view? Then yes, we're doing the pay-per-view. If not, meh. I wouldn't mind, actually talking about what we like in wrestling. I think that, just doesn't...
We get to talk about it so rarely.
Yeah, you usually talk about stuff we hate, but I've had a hard time thinking of a format for that. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be that. Maybe it'll be something the fuck else. Maybe a movie will come out and we'll be like, oh shit, that movie was coming. Oh, I know what it's probably going to be. Fallout!
Oh, gee. I'm so dumb. Because my brain... I forgot the podcast was next week because my brain's going, once Fallout comes out, that's all I'll ever do again.
Maybe not everything is better when nerds talk about it.
Maybe fucking not, but that's the sign-off, so I'm going to say it. Everything is better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's get hardcore!